Hello nerds, welcome to another episode of Epic Shill Time, Black Friday edition. I'll be talking about some of the best deals you can get for music production this Black Friday and for the next few days, I believe. Before we get started, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here. Trying to get 100,000 subscribers. I don't know, some point. I'm going to try to cover deals that I did not talk about in the last video. If there's any overlap, my apologies. Everything I talk about today will be linked in the description, and some of them will be affiliate links. If you want to support the channel, use the affiliate links, please. It's a great way to support the content and no extra cost to you. The affiliate links and sponsorships I do on this channel help me be able to do this for a living, so any support is appreciated. First really good deal we have here is the FabFilter mixing bundle. I know that is a pretty expensive price there, but they never have sales, and it's normally $729, but it's currently $545. They make some of the best mixing plugins out there. This includes FabFilter Pro R, really clean reverb. It's not Pro R2 though, is it? That's weird. Is it not Pro R2? It has to be Pro R2. It wouldn't make sense for it to be Pro R1. Pro Q4, which came out in the past year. One of the best EQs you can get currently, very clean, a lot of features. Pro C2, great compressor, a lot of great presets and options within it. The de-esser, you can take it or leave it. I mean, if you have a good de-esser already, you personally don't really need this. This is kind of just a bonus. Same thing with the gate here. I don't know who really needs a gate. Saturn II though, one of the best saturators out there. It's multi-band. It has a lot of different saturation types. It's got a lot of different options. You can modulate parameters. You can change the tone of different bands. There's just so many different ways to use all of these plugins, but especially Saturn II. Timeless 3, in my opinion, one of the best delays out there. And definitely one of my go-tos for vocals. So it turns out a lot of FabFilter's plugins are on sale currently. It's basically the same deal. It looks like anything from FabFilter is about 25% off until December 1st. One thing that's a little confusing to me here is it says Pro R, but it should be Pro R2, I'm pretty sure. I'm a little confused here because Pro R2 has been out for like a year and a half at this point. So I don't know why Pro R would specifically be a part of this bundle. If you do end up buying this and it only gives you Pro R, I would ask for a refund. That's a little sketchy in my opinion. It should be Pro R2, especially since it's coming with Pro Q4. I'm guessing they just didn't update this portion of the page, but they're all really good plugins in my opinion. If you need to learn more about these plugins, I suggest checking it out first. FabFilter has some of the best mixing plugins out there. Do you personally need it though to get a good mix? No. Will it make it easier to do so? Yes, in my opinion. Our next epic shill is Magma Stress Box by Waves. You know, not a big fan of Waves, but it is a free plugin. Can't really complain too much about that. There are a lot of things to complain about Waves for though. Mainly their update plan. What are you doing with your update plan? Why do I only get one license of whatever software I buy? Why do I have to pay for a second license? Why don't I get free updates? Like, what's the deal with that? I don't know. It's some long-winded scam scheme thing. This is Smegma Stress Box, where you shape musical tension and feel with one knob. Oh boy, sounds complicated. Here dynamics meet emotion. That doesn't really even make sense to me. Let's hear what it sounds like though. I can't see it sounding bad. Your plugin would have to be so shitty for the before and after to not be better. Sounds like a thing. Yep. Let's hear it on the lead vocals. Off.
I don't know what you want. I don't know what you need. But you got me crazy, 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 baby, on my knees. Come get it if you want. Both eyes on me. You might be begging, 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 baby, baby, please. I don't know what you want.
I'm a little distracted by this horny ass song. So it sounds like some combination of compression and saturation to me. So they state it is a dynamics tool that shapes musical tension. You turn it right for aggressive compression that pulls the room sound forward and slams with urgency and in-your-face energy. Turn left for expansion that enhances transients, shortens reverb tails, and wraps your track in a tighter, controlled feel. That's actually kind of cool. Depending on which way you turn it, it's going to behave differently. It's a little interesting idea. You know, I feel like it's not really the biggest selling point if you have to tell people that you can automate with it. Okay, so if you're interested in that free plugin, that'll be linked down in the description, just like everything else here. So I can't remember if I talked about this in the last Epic Shill Time. That's what we're calling this from now on, by the way. Yep, I know. I did a good job with that name. But Melodyne is currently having a sale, and it looks like it's ranging anywhere from 30 to 70% off. And for those of you who do not know, a Melodyne is one of the greatest tools for vocals of all time. You may have heard of autotune. You may have used autotune even. Great way to tune your vocals, especially if you're going for that robotic sort of sound. But what if you want to tune your shitty vocals, but you don't want people to know? You know, you don't want to make it so obvious. You don't want to sound like a gay robot. May I introduce you to Melodyne? Melodyne allows you to correct the pitch of your audio. So that's kind of the issue with autotune, is that it has to hear the audio first, and then it takes at least like a millisecond for it to correct the pitch. So what Melodyne does is it records the audio beforehand, or if you're using ARA, and from there you can correct it before it even plays. And you can do this for every piece of your vocals. You can tune it a little bit, you can tune it a lot, you can transpose it. There's a lot of different options. You can even correct timing with Melodyne. So by far, Melodyne is one of the best tools to have as an audio engineer, somebody that mixes vocals, even a music producer if you deal with vocals a lot. If I were to recommend one plugin out of every plugin I've ever talked about, it probably would be Melodyne. Now, granted, there are some alternatives to it, but none of them are as good as Melodyne, in my opinion. Now, which version is right for you? I can't really say, but as you can tell, this is pretty expensive software here. So if you're trying to get professional sounding vocals, but you sing like ass, this is going to be what you want. Granted, you have to get somewhere in the ballpark of the note. That way it knows what to correct to. Same thing with autotune. So you have to sing at least decently, but this can change your vocal game forever. This will be linked in the description. Melodyne is one of the greatest vocal plugins of all time. Speaking of vocal plugins, there is also Vocaline. Now, I have a pretty big complaint with Vocaline here. Now, first I'll say this, it's up to 50% off, and it's great if you want to line up different vocals. Let's say you have multiple takes. This is especially good for pop songs, and you have multiple vocal takes and you want them to line up pretty much perfectly. You can get the tuning as well as the timing synced up for multiple takes. This will basically do it 100% perfectly if you wanted to. Really quickly, I do want to rant about Vocaline here. I bought it a few years back. I can't even download the version that I bought from them, but I bought a version of Vocaline, and you can't even download it off their website anymore. It says I'm pretty sure it says I have the license, but there's nowhere to download it or activate it. So I allegedly had to, in order to use the software I paid for. Use at your own risk. They have other software too. I'm not really familiar with anything else from them other than Vocaline though. Our next sale here is from Splice. They have a Black Friday sale. Basically, it's 50% off on the Splice Creator Annual Plan. It's up to you if you like using Splice or not. I like getting samples from there, like drum samples and stuff like that. That's my main use for it. So they have the Splice Creator Annual Plan for $120, which I honestly don't even know what that is. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really care enough to look into it further than that. They'll be linked in the description though. Instead, we're going to talk about something actually awesome. Okay, our next deal is from Oeksound Soothe 2, another one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. Is it as necessary as Melodyne? I don't know. I guess it depends on the person. Some people are not a fan of Soothe. I think it's great. It just depends how you use it. If you overuse it, yeah, it sucks. If you overuse anything, it sucks. This one's not an affiliate link. I don't really care though. I'm just trying to give you guys the good shit. For those of you who do not know what Soothe does, it soothes your sound. Pretty self-explanatory. It removes frequencies that are resonant, and you can control how much you remove it. Granted, you do not want to over remove frequencies, because if you remove too much, you just take the life out of the sound. You soothe it to death. Now, normally it's $209. It is currently $149, and the sale ends December 1st, and I'm pretty sure it's basically never on sale. I would get this while you can. Again, no affiliate link here. I'm just trying to give you the goods. It's a dynamic resonance suppressor. It's even endorsed by Skrillex. Now, granted, you could use a dynamic EQ, but what Soothe excels at is it will follow a pitch. For instance, if you have a pitch changing and it's resonant, it'll follow that. Now, a dynamic EQ does not do that unless you automate it, and that's a fucking headache to constantly be doing. It's also great to use with sidechain for creating space between sounds to interact with each other. It also has different modes such as left and right and mid-side, so you can get really surgical with your sidechain. Definitely one of the goated plugins of all time, in my opinion. Okay, here it is on a guitar. As you can tell, it makes a really big difference there. It makes it so much more pleasant to listen to. Now, like I said, it's not something you want to use all the time, but if a sound is too much, if you need to create room in your mix, but you still want to keep some life in the sound, it's definitely something to play with. Another thing too, it is very easy to use. You don't need a lot of experience to be able to use this plugin. So if you're interested in that, description. Next, we have another free plugin. This one's from Air. I talked about this last time, but it's actually out now, so I can give you more information on it. And it is Tape Double Track. It's a recreation of a classic double tracking effect. The vintage 1960s ADT technique meets the flexibility of modern production workflows. That's free for a limited time, and this works with the MPC, and this works with MPC standalone as well as VC3, AU, AAX. Let's check out what it sounds like real quick.
Tape double track is a faithful recreation of a classic double tracking effect. Tape double track is a faithful recreation of a classic double tracking effect.
I'm not gonna lie, that didn't really sell me on it very well. It would probably be in my opinion, it'd be a lot better to show it on something musical.
Combine the two source channels for an immediate, lush result. Or mute the source input to hear only the delayed and modulated doubled output signal. You can also create a mixed blend between the two by slowly turning up the double channel source knob.
I'm not gonna lie, it seems pretty sweet for a free plugin. Can't really complain about it. That'll be linked in the description along with everything else. Like I've said 1,000 fucking times at this point. We have one more interesting one here. Universal Audio is letting you pick any plugin for free. I don't know if that's 100% true. I think it's from a list of 10. But basically, you use the code BFPick1 free at checkout, and you have until December 1st. I'm not somebody who has utilized UAD plugins very much. Polymax Synth is definitely a pretty decent sounding one, though. I've messed with that a little bit. I'm gonna go over a few other quick ones I see on Plugin Boutique. Sound Toys, 60% off. That's pretty good. I've never really utilized Diva very much. You know, I've already had my hands full with a lot of other synths, but it's 51% off currently. Scalar 3, I mentioned that in another video. Vision 4X, if you need some spectral analysis, 44% off. V Collection, 50% off if you want to spend a shitload of money on some synthesizers. Ozone 12, 25% off. Auto-Tune 2026 is 71% off. Like I said, though, Melodyne is a GOAT. Decapitator, 75% off currently. Bro, paying $199 for Decapitator is insane. I would absolutely never try. I heard good things about Track Spacer. You know, I've got my own stuff I utilize for that sort of thing already, but it's 50% off, $29 normally. That is it for this episode of Epic Shill Time. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for new here if you want to keep the shilling going. If there's any deals I missed, let me know down in the comments. You can help out other people here. Like I said, make sure to use the affiliate links if possible. Great way to support the channel and help keep this channel viable. It helps me make a living, and I appreciate any support. Honestly, guys, I thank you very much.